Welcome to the My Brain, My Happiness podcast. My name is Joe, and on each episode, it is my goal to spread awareness on mental health. No, I'm not a therapist, a psychiatrist, or a medical doctor. I'm just a guy who has had a lifelong relationship with mental illness, specifically OCD. Together with you, I want to blow the roof off the stigma that comes with having a mental illness. You need to know you're not alone. I promise this podcast will be upbeat and positive. My goal with each episode is to make you understand that you don't have to take this on alone or in silence. Now let's change some lives. Hey everybody, welcome to My Brain, My Happiness, episode number 10. I can't believe I got 10 episodes in already. This is Joe, talking to you live from my basement. Just finished my Diet Coke. Can you believe that, well, at the time of this recording, it's New Year's Eve, 2024, and I can't believe that we're about to ring in 2025. Time goes by so fast. I don't have anything formally prepared for today because I usually do a lot of research. Not a lot of research, but I try to watch some videos or do some reading and whatever and take notes and have a discussion about what you can do to make your life better. Trying to use my coaching certifications and training, put that into effect. And, obviously this channel is about mental illness. Also, it's about trying to live just a more positive, productive life and trying to be able to deal with the hardships that we all face in life. But today, I am directly talking to the folks who don't have OCD, but you live with someone who does, or you just love someone who does. You're close to someone who has OCD. And let me tell you something about OCD. It's very difficult to understand if you don't have it. And you will never understand it if you've never walked in these shoes. So I'm going to tell you, I'm talking to you about it because I have OCD. Okay. And I've had it, ever since I can remember. But back in the day, I'm 55. So back when I first started experiencing it as a teenager, nobody was talking about OCD. They weren't talking about intrusive thoughts. I just thought I was fucking going crazy. But in any case, I want you to imagine your most terrifying, we're all terrified of something, right? We all have that one thing or maybe multiple things. I know people, like, for instance, I'm terrified of snakes, right? Or whatever it is that scares the shit out of you. Imagine that, let's say you are terrified of getting eaten by a shark. And I know it's a crazy one, but I just picked that out of my hat, right? So let's imagine that you're fearful of swimming in the ocean, and because you're going to get eaten by a shark. Now, imagine yourself getting eaten by a shark. Now you can do that. You can easily imagine yourself being attacked by a shark, and then 5 minutes later not be thinking about it anymore. Well, with OCD, we'll have that thought pop in our head, but it won't go away. And we can't stop thinking about it. And we got to have answers. We want to know why we can't stop thinking. What happens if I get attacked by a shark? What am I going to do? What would I do if I get attacked by a shark? How would I fight it off? Would I be able to live? How do I survive? Boom, now you're on the computer and you're starting to type in how to avoid a shark attack, how to fend off a shark if you're being attacked, what to do in case of a shark attack, all these things. And you're spinning out of control and you think, oh my God, if I go swim in the ocean, I'm going on vacation. If I go in the ocean, if I get attacked by a shark, what am I going to do? I can't stop thinking about it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And it doesn't stop. And it just keeps looping. And no matter what you do, you can't stop thinking about what's going to happen if you get attacked by a shark. And then you put yourself in that situation, in your head, in your mind. It becomes reality. Now you're in the ocean. Now you're getting attacked by a shark. And you're seeing yourself fighting. And it won't stop. It won't stop. And it goes all day long. And then you don't get any peace until you go to sleep. And then all of a sudden, sometimes you go to sleep and now you start having nightmares about getting attacked by a shark, because intrusive thoughts sometimes will seep their way into your sleep. They have with me. And so I need you to just imagine that for a second. That is what OCD is like. Having these terrifying or impure or disgusting or whatever thoughts to you. They're disgusting thoughts to you. They're scary thoughts to you, and you can't get rid of them. They won't go away, and you live your life in hell because you are captured and you are imprisoned by your own brain and your own thoughts. Scary place to be. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Well, it is. It absolutely is terrifying. So if you have a loved one who has OCD, I need you to remember a couple things. Number one, don't tell them to just think about something else. Because if we had that fucking ability, we would do it. We can't just turn a switch off and think about something else and have this compulsive, intrusive thought go away. It doesn't work that way. And I know that you mean well when you say it, and you try to talk about the positives that people have in life and all that, and that's great. But it doesn't, a lot of times it just doesn't help with turning that thought off. If someone is brave enough to come to you and talk to you about an intrusive thought they are having, you need to realize the internal strength that person has is stronger than almost anybody else that you know. Because being brave enough to talk about a thought that you're ashamed of, embarrassed by, terrified by, because you know it sounds nuts, is one of the bravest things an individual can do. And so you need to understand that if a person is coming to you to talk about it, it's because they've reached their breaking point and they need some help. They need to just get it off their chest. So don't judge somebody because of their thoughts. Don't. If you know they have OCD. Well, you shouldn't judge people anyways, but just really don't judge people by their OCD thoughts, because they're irrational thoughts. And you're in an irrational state of mind, and you cannot ask an irrational person in an irrational state of mind to think rationally. It just doesn't work that way. So that's one thing I want you to remember. Another thing that I want you to remember is just because someone is, 1, diagnosed with OCD, 2, maybe going to therapy, 3, maybe they're even on medication, it doesn't make it just fucking disappear. It doesn't make it just go away. Now, you can get it under control where it doesn't become debilitating as it was for you in the past. That's why I have been in therapy for years. That's why I take medication. And I get it, medication is not for everybody. Some people have a fear of medication. I understand it. I do not, right? Medication changed my life. So I therefore take medication, and it keeps my OCD at bay for the most part. But it's not always gone, right? I had myself convinced a few weeks ago that I had cancer, and I found myself on the internet watching YouTube videos, searching for symptoms, blah blah blah. Who's at risk? I did. I went through it. I've had the intrusive thoughts of hurting my children. I've had the intrusive thoughts of thinking I was gay, and even though I'm straight. I mean, these are all common intrusive thoughts. And so it is a scary place to live. So, like I said, if someone comes to you and they're brave enough to talk about it, please understand that they are at a breaking point and they need to get it off their chest. And what we need from you is we need you to look at us and say, it's okay. Tell me about it. You're going to be all right. Give that person a hug. Let them know you're there. Just comfort them. Don't tell them to think about something else. Don't tell them that they're, don't look at them with a fucking strange face like, how could you think that? Because we don't want to think what we're thinking. And I can't tell you why things pop in my head. And I can't tell you how they're just obscure. I mean, literally obscure shit. I could be, I remember driving when I was a teenager, I never wanted to drive by accident scenes. So I would get in my car and I would drive to work and I'd have a panic attack all the way there. I'm not talking anxiety. I'm talking full blown out panic attack from the time I left my driveway to the time I pulled into the parking lot at work. And then I'd be okay. But then I'd have to get back in the car and go home at night. And I would have a fucking panic attack, again, all the way from work till I got to the driveway of my house. No shit. And I can remember a couple times my worst nightmare coming true where, oh my God, there's an ambulance, somebody's on the ground, right? Because what happens? What would happen to me? I would imagine that, what if it was me? What if I drove through here 10 minutes earlier and I was the one who got into that accident? What if I was just, oh my God, if I was 30 seconds earlier, or if, God forbid you saw an accident happen, the what ifs would just absolutely blow my mind. I couldn't stop. And then I would obsess about, what if I had if I had been 5 minutes earlier, that would have been me in that accident. I'm the one who would have been on that stretcher. I'm the one who could have been seriously injured. And it could be anything. You could hear about somebody getting into a bad accident and getting paralyzed, and it just spins out of control. So that was something that I went through early in life, when I was a teenager, and no one knew what OCD was back then. So it was scary. And I don't care how old you are, these intrusive thoughts are always going to be scary. So we just need, from the people in our lives, we just need comfort. We need security. We need you to just be there for us and not judge us. And I need you to remember, like I said, if someone's getting help for their OCD, they're a brave, strong person. Because to go and actually open up and talk about these intrusive thoughts is just absolutely so strong of that person. And we need you to just be there for us and tell us you love us. And so, with that said, and heading into the new year, for those of us who do have OCD, and for those of you who do not have OCD, but you have a loved one who's impacted, we're going to need to have understanding on both sides. I, as someone with OCD, I try to understand that this person is looking at me like this because they don't understand it. They don't understand the hell that I go through. So if you are with someone who just doesn't get it, there are plenty of articles out there that talk about pure OCD and intrusive thoughts. And if you can't put it into your own words, you know what? Send them a link to the article. I had found one. I wish I could remember her name, but I felt like she was writing this paper about me. And I would just say, hey, read this. This is what I go through. And for the people who don't have OCD, I want you to understand that you will never get it. You'll never get it. So don't try. Don't try to play doctor. Don't try to play therapist. Just be there and listen. Just listen and try to comfort a person. You can comfort them by telling them, you can tell them why you think that wouldn't happen, or why the chances of what they're thinking about are so low, or whatever it is. Try to comfort them on the intrusive thought that they're talking about with you. But don't look at them and say, just think about something else. Just think about all the positives you have in life. We know that shit. We fucking know it. So we just need love and support and not to be judged. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for today. Listen, this was an off-the-hip type of show today. I did not have anything written down. I just wanted to get out here and talk and freeform it, and that's what I did. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everybody has a safe and happy New Year's. I love you all. Thanks for listening. If you know people that this will help, please share out my podcast. Let everybody know about it. I'm just out here trying to make the world a little easier for people, and I'm trying to get the message out of something that should be talked about out loud and just isn't, and that's mental illness. I love you all. Thanks for listening, and peace.